You do not need an overlocker to sew professional standard garments. Now, overlockers are brilliant tools, but they're not the only tool, and they're certainly not an impressive tool when it comes to finishing wovens. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you 5 alternative seam finishes for when you are constructing woven garments. Each one professional and each one achievable, especially without an overlocker or a serger, wherever you are in the world. All you're going to need is a sewing machine and an iron. The 5 finishes we're going to go through today are not a be-all and end-all, and there is no single finish that applies to every single fabric and every single garment style. And part of sewing with intention, rather than just sewing by habit, is understanding which finishes to reach for and when to use them. So by the end of this video, you're going to have 5 new finishes to add to your toolkit and the knowledge on when to apply them and incorporate them into your wardrobe. The first finish is a turned and stitched seam. This is a foundational general purpose seam finish for woven fabrics. You'll find this on the inside of well-made garments, from quality cotton shirts to structured trousers. There's 2 ways of finishing with this technique. The first is to construct your seam first and then sew and finish your seam allowance, or what I would suggest is slightly easier, finish your seam allowance first before constructing your seam. We're going to fold it under and we're going to press that down at the iron before stitching that in place with an edge stitch. Now I have a contrast colour thread going on here just so that you can see. If you are doing this on your final garment, then of course selecting a colour match thread would be a smart way to go. And this will have just secured that fabric underneath, and we've now edge stitched that and given it a nice neat finish. I can then, if I wanted to, either apply it to the other side of my fabric, or if you choose to finish this following constructing your seam, you would sew your seam first. And this of course is right sides together. You would choose to finish by turning and stitching. And so after pressing my work at the iron, I've just flipped it so everything is out of the way before folding that under. You may prefer to do it this way around rather than the alternative. What you now have is a seam allowance where the raw edge is entirely concealed. Both sides lie flat and the stitching is clean and even. It's neat, it's professional, and it will not fray. This finish works beautifully on light to medium weight fabrics like this cotton. On anything very thick or bulky, turning the edge under will actually add more bulk than it removes. So one of our other finishes that we're covering in this video will serve you much better. This next finish solves that issue of visible stitching when you are working with lightweight or sheer wovens, and it is absolutely one of my favourites. Now, you may have heard it, it is very common in the sewing community, but it's a French seam. Don't let this enclosed seam overwhelm you. It is simply the same as doing a line of stitches like you would with your standard open seam twice. Okay, that's all it needs to be. What is important when you're working with finer weight fabrics is changing your needle to a finer weight needle. So make sure you don't forget to do that very important step. So the French seam is an enclosed seam, and I love an enclosed seam on a woven garment. And this means that the raw edges are completely hidden within the seam itself. There is no edge visible anywhere. The inside of a French seam looks, to put it simply, exquisite. And the goal is the narrower the French seam, the more delicate. In order to construct a French seam, you want to be working with a minimum of about 1.5 centimeters. I've got right and wrong sides here. I hope you can see the difference in that. So this, with the textured surface, is the right side of my fabric, and this is the wrong side of my fabric. So here's the method. We're going to place our pieces wrong side together first. Let's sew a centimeter seam allowance. And for a lighter weight fabric, it's worth noting, not only have I got a smaller needle, but I'm using a shorter stitch length as well. And once you have sewn your seam allowance, you want to trim away your excess as close to your stitch line as possible. Perhaps leave 2 millimeters and do not cut through your stitching. Now we want to go over to an iron, and I'm going to lay this flat and fold this back over, okay? And so we then want to roll between our fingertips, just roll that seam right to the edge. We want that seam line right on the edge as though you folded the fabric in half, and give that a really good press. So here is my pressed sample. And when I say press with your iron, I mean press, don't iron. So ironing would be gliding your iron back and forth like this. What that can tend to do is warp the fabric and stretch it and skew it out of shape. You just want to hold your iron down and apply pressure before moving it to a next space, holding it down and applying pressure. That's going to ensure that everything stays put where it needs to. What you'll have noticed is that your fabric is now right sides together. We're about to enclose this raw edge here, and so we've trimmed that down to a matter of millimeters. We're then going to come in, and if you've done a 1 centimeter seam allowance, you still have 1/2 centimeter to play with. Put our needle in our work and sew the remaining 1/2 centimeter seam allowance. And this is going to enclose that seam beautifully. This is going to be the interior of our garment. Everything is enclosed, and you can press your seam in either direction. You can see ever so delicately underneath. As I say, this is really beautiful on a sheer fabric finish. You can see that enclosed seam underneath, but there's no frayed edges. There's nothing nasty happening there. And we can give that a good press at the iron to finish that off. French seams are definitely best suited to lightweight fabrics. I will say that heavyweight fabrics with those extra seam layers can create far too much bulk. So it might be an idea to stick to your silk, chiffons, fine linens, voiles, anything like that. And whilst I personally maintain that French seams can definitely be applied to a curve, if you're thinking like an armhole on a nice sheer shirt or blouse, I will say that without patience or on a particularly tightly curved seam, the fabric within the fold can pucker and pull. So if you're finding this is the case, you might want to reach for a bias bound finish for a curve, which we're going to cover shortly. The third finish is the flat fell seam. This one is as structural as it is beautiful, and it's another favorite of mine because you've guessed it, it's another enclosed seam. You're going to recognize it immediately because it's the double row of top stitching that you see running down the inseams of good quality jeans. This is absolutely something we covered inside the DPL Atelier when we did our jean create, cut, contour, construct framework cycle. You'll also see it on tailored shirts and traditional workwear, and this is because it's really strong and it's really durable and it's completely flat. It is finished on both sides simultaneously, so both the interior and the exterior. Now, what I will say is, as the designer, you get to really choose what you want to have on the exterior versus the interior. Again, this is a really fantastic exercise if you just sample. You just have to go through your scraps, cut pieces of fabric, no bigger than this. It's a really good way to just practice techniques and skills. So traditionally, we're going to put this right sides together, and we're going to sew a 1.5 centimeter seam allowance. Needs to be nice and generous because one of our seam allowance sides is going to wrap around the other, and so we need the space to do that. And I'm going to knock my stitch length up. I've changed my needle, by the way. I'm working with a heavier weight fabric, so I've gone up in needle size, and I'm also going to increase my stitch length slightly because it's a thicker fabric. So this is a classic open seam if I wanted to press that down like so. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to trim away the seam allowance, much like we did with the French seam, but only on one side. And so again, taking care not to cut through the right side of your work or your stitches. And now at the iron, so press number 1 is pressing my seam allowance this way. Press number 2 is folding in this edge and pressing that down. And press number 3, once that's folded, is flipping this over, and have a little look at how that encloses all the raw edges. We can now edge stitch this down to enclose everything in place. From the right side of the garment, you may want to add a second line of stitching down here. My personal preference with this is to actually reverse it. So instead of having this ridge on the interior of your garment, which is absolutely beautiful and enclosed, if I was working with jeans, I would have this to the outside, because having that ridge against the skin in a heavyweight fabric can be quite uncomfortable for the wearer, especially if we're enclosing something like an inseam. The flat fell is a particularly good finish for medium to heavyweight fabrics, so cotton shirting, linen, denim, canvas, and it adds considerable strength to the seam, which is why it's used in garments that are worn hard and washed frequently. It might not be the finish for a delicate silk blouse that the French seam offers you, but for a beautifully constructed linen trouser or a tailored cotton shirt, then my friend, this is unbeatable. Before we get on to technique number 4 and 5, and the 5th technique in particular is something that I seldom see taught outside of professional corsetry, so it's not what you think, stay tuned. But if you're enjoying this video and you like some of the tips that I've already shared, why not check out the DPL Atelier? This is my fashion membership where we teach the entire process from concept through to construction across our signature framework. We actually have a module dedicated to professional sewing techniques so that you can make the inside of your garment as beautiful as the outside. That is a big ethos and cornerstone of what I try to teach here at Digital Pattern Library. I'll link everything down below in the description. But if you do want to make the inside of your garment as beautiful as the outside, you definitely don't want to skip these next two techniques. The penultimate finish is using bias tape to bind your seam allowance. Now you can either bind your seam allowance together and you can put both sides of fabric together like so, or you can edge them with bias tape separately to create another decorative effect. Now this is where the interior of your garments really can start to look very considered and very pretty. This is also a fantastic way to use up your fabric scraps, because what you want to do to create bias tape is essentially cut strips of fabric on the bias. That's why it's called bias. This is 45-degree angle to the grain line. And you just want to fold the edges in. You can also get bias tape makers, whatever works for you and your unique creative process. And so whether you have textiles left over from your project and you want to use the offcuts to create bias tape, whether you want to do a contrast design detail such as this one here, whether you want to purchase pre-made bias tape from a reputable haberdashers, the choice is yours. So in order to finish that, you just want to place the edge of your seam allowance into the tape, and bias tape is so versatile. You can finish a garment in a multitude of ways with bias tape. You just want to edge stitch that in place. Notice how I've moved my work out of the way. So here's the right side of my garment and here's my allowance here. This is from the wrong side. If you give a good considered press, you're going to be able to have that really neat both sides. You can trim away your excess. Extra points if you are changing your thread over to match your bias tape. When you come to press that, this is the right side of your garment. What you might find is depending on the weight of your bias tape, you might have an unsightly ridge pushing through to the right side of the fabric. Just get a little bit of tissue paper or your pressing cloth and put a layer in between the bias tape and your outer fabric and give that a press. That's going to make sure that you avoid any unsightly ridges. So just slide something in between here that obviously is heat resistant to your iron, and you can give that a good press. But this is a bias bound edge on the interior of your garment, especially beautiful in a contrast color as an added design detail to your makes. What you now have is a seam where every raw edge is encased in a beautifully turned little envelope of fabric, essentially. This is the brilliant thing, because this finish adds zero bulk on the right side of your garment. It's entirely invisible from the outside, and it's your secret. This is what I love about clothes. You can kind of sew these cute little details into your clothing, knowing that they're there and no one else needs to know, but it just has a deeper appreciation for the craft. And the inside of your garments, my friend, should really be as beautiful as the outside. And the Hong Kong finish, the bias bound finish, is exactly how you would achieve that. Now, the fifth and final finish is going to be a little unexpected, because for anybody out there with a sprinkling of experience, you might be expecting me to show you a welt seam. I seldom use welt seams. I don't think the interior finish is as neat as I personally like for my clothing. And so I'm going to be showing you something a little bit more alternative and a little bit more in your face, for want of a better description. And that is a taped seam. Now, a taped seam can serve two purposes: entirely decorative or additional structure. So I'm going to get two pieces of fabric. If you would like the tape finish to the outside of the garment, sew your fabric wrong sides together. If you want the tape finish to the inside of the garment, similar to the bias bound edges, sew your fabric right sides together. Now, you may wish to trim down excess as we've done before, making sure not to snip through your stitches. With that pressed, you can lay your bias tape over, covering the seam allowance, and you can then edge stitch that in place. If we flip that over, you can see that all of these edges are now being enclosed again, and it's giving a nice contrast if you so choose to select a contrast fabric, print, anything like that. This is a great choice for the maximalists out there. And this can be a really cute detail. I've done this in a very lightweight fabric to match that I'm sewing with, but just have a look that has added structure. And if you wanted to add even more structure, what this has actually done is created a channel that you can thread boning through or any form of additional support. And on the inside, everything is enclosed as well. Alternatively, as I say, as the designer, you can keep this as the outside because I've got quite a gingham ditzy print going on here. The stitch lines are already quite invisible, but the outside can remain clean and neat like so, and the inside you can have a nice taped seam finish. Other important factors include varying the width of this tape. For me, this is quite a wide tape seam finish. If I've trimmed my seam allowance down to a matter of millimeters, having a very narrow tape seam finish could be a really beautiful interior as well. This is not a technique for every project. On a lightweight summer dress, it would be unnecessary, but on a tailored jacket or a beautifully cut coat, a structured trouser, this might be the finish for you. It is the finish that says unequivocally that the person who made this garment understood what they were doing inside and out. And so there we have it, 5 professional seam allowances and not a single overlocked stitch in sight. For your general purpose projects, we have turned and stitch. If you're working with lightweight or sheer and fancy that delicate touch, then French seam might be for you. A flat felled for more durability, a bias bound finish for when you want the inside to look as beautiful as the outside. And for that couture touch, why not try your hand at a taped seam? And to push yourself one step further, why not try your hand at hand finishing it too? We teach all of this and more inside the DPL Atelier, so if you feel ready to dive a little deeper, then why not come and join us? These are not difficult techniques, but they are deliberate, and that intentional approach to sewing is what separates a home-sewn fast fashion garment from a high-end one made with care. So if you found this video useful, please give it a like and subscribe. It really helps us connect with makers all across the globe. And if you're interested in exploring anything further, I will leave a few useful links in the description. For now, stay safe, keep creative, and I'll catch you on the flip side.